Hello everyone, how are you all? Hope you are all doing well. Today I am here with a new video explaining you the textbook question and answer, grammar and vocabulary of the Unit 7 of the 10th Standard English textbook, SSC Board Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. On to part A, my childhood. The first question, what were the problems faced by Kalam in his childhood? Here we are asked what the problems were. A few problems are told in our textbook. What are they? Abdul Kalam was separated from his Brahmin friends and was asked to sit in the last row as he belonged to the Muslim community. This is one problem. And then when Kalam was invited for a meal to his science teacher, Mr. Iyer's house, Iyer's wife denied to serve him food as he belonged to a Muslim community. These were the problems faced by Kalam in his childhood. On to the second question. Dash, that is, what is that? We have to fill in the blank here. Dash that forced Samsuddin to look for a helping hand. What does that refer to? That refers to the state of emergency that was declared. With it, the train that delivered the newspapers to Rameshwaram did not halt at the station temporarily. Halt means stop. The train that has to stop at Rameshwaram did not stop at Rameshwaram for that period of time. This forced Kalam's cousin Samsuddin, who was a newspaper agent, to look for someone to catch the newspaper bundle thrown from the running train. Because the train did not stop there, they had to throw the newspaper bundle from the running train. And when someone throws from the running train, someone has to catch it. And this is where Kalam found his first job, we can say. Kalam's cousin had to look for someone who could help him to catch the bundles which were thrown from the running train. On to the third question, I filled the slot. What does the sentence mean? The sentence means that Abdul Kalam was rightly chosen to catch the newspaper bundles thrown from the running train. He did it willingly. He was the apt person for that. He was the most suitable person to do that job. On to the fourth question. If one wants to bring a change in the social system, what qualities should one possess? If one wants to bring a change in the social system, one should have courage, boldness, patience, bravery, determination, and self-confidence. On to the fifth question. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the Prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. Choose the most appropriate meaning for the underlined phrase from the options given below. So your bedtime stories means, what does it mean? Is it stories told by the bedside, stories told on the bed, or the stories told before going to sleep? Yes, the right answer is stories told before going to sleep. On to the sixth question. Your children or not your children? What does it mean? Do you agree or disagree with the statement? Give reasons. Yes, I agree with the statement. First of all, let's tell what it means. Your children are not your children. What does it mean? It means that the children do not belong to the parents. Parents are just a medium through whom the child is born into the universe. Do you agree or disagree with the statement? I agree with the statement. Give reasons. Every child has a unique thought process, unique talent, and unique skill. The ideology to excel in a certain field just to fulfill the parents' desire obviously collapses the purpose of the creation of that child. Thus, the freedom to enable the children to create an individuality for themselves and to pursue their dreams should be given. No one should force their ideas on the children. This is what it means according to me. On to the 7th question. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because of religious differences and upbringing. Here the word upbringing is underlined. Choose the most appropriate meaning for the underlined word from the options given below, and the options are education, cared and trained, food and shelter. Yes, the right answer is cared and trained. On to the 8th question. Read the text and attribute the characteristics given in the box to the following women. The first one is Subramania Iyer's wife. Firstly, let's get into the characteristics that are mentioned here. Conservative, sociable, kind, secular, generous, simple, tolerant, adamant, orthodox. Conservative means very reserved. Sociable means very friendly. Kind means very generous and liberal. Secular means no bias on the basis of religion or caste or community. Generous again means kind, very compassionate, very liberal. Simple means very humble, modest and down to earth. Tolerant means very much accepting in nature. Adamant means very stubborn. Orthodox means sticking to a set of rules, very firmly sticking to it, very strictly following it. Subramania Iyer's wife. The characteristics that are suitable to Subramania Iyer's wife are conservative, orthodox and adamant. On to Ashiyamma. Ashiyamma is the mother of Abdul Kalam. The characteristics of Ashiyamma are sociable, kind, secular, generous, simple and tolerant. On to the 9th question. Identify the features of the text My Childhood. The first one, type of text. The text is an autobiography. That is, Abdul Kalam himself is narrating his story, hence it is an autobiography. Reflections on the text. The text speaks of the secularism, hospitality. Hospitality means how you receive the guests, how you treat them well. That is called as hospitality. Equality. Equality is treating everyone equal, especially Abdul Kalam treated equal along with his friends. And brotherhood enjoyed by Kalam, as well as the instances where Kalam was discriminated on the basis of religion and caste. So here in this text we get to know the instances where Kalam faces good moments as well as the bitter moments. On to the next one, anecdotes in the text. Anecdotes means small incidents narrated. The anecdotes in the text are Kalam earning money by selling tamarind seeds, Kalam catching the newspaper bundles from the running train, Kalam's family arranging boats for carrying idols during the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, the warning given by Lakshmana Shastri against the discrimination shown by the new science teacher, and the reformation in the thoughts of Iyer sir's wife. These are some of the anecdotes in the text. On to the vocabulary. Fill in the blanks with the suitable words often confused given in the brackets. Samsudin helped me earn my first wages. On to the second one. He received a proportion of his income from selling tamarind seeds. Wages means you are paid for working. That is called wage. Income means all that money which comes to you. Everything put together becomes the income. On to the third one. He is ignorant about technology. However, he was found innocent of any crime. Ignorant means not at all aware. Innocent means not guilty. He lost all the wealth he had inherited from his father because he acquired bad habits. Inherit means to get from the forefathers. That is called inheritance. Acquire means get by the contemporary situations relevant in the society. That is called acquiring. In the present scenario, whatever we get, that is called acquiring. On to the sixth one. People from different backgrounds could mingle easily. Mixed group of people do not come to an agreement. On to the seventh one. People in Rameshwaram were very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. Subramanya Iyer adamantly opposed it. Rigid means very strict. Adamantly means stubbornly. The car collided with a stationary vehicle when we were going to buy some stationery from the bookstall. Stationery, S-T-A-T-I-O-N-A-R-Y. Stationery means stable, standing at one place. Stationery, S-T-A-T-I-O-N-E-R-Y. Stationery means things related to education. The books, the pens, the pencils, the paper, notebooks, all these are stationery. On to the ninth one. She was enveloped in a huge white towel. Here it acts as a verb. And the third form of envelope is enveloped. We sent an airmail envelope abroad. Envelope means an office cover. We all put the letter into a cover, that is called an envelope. On to the 11th one. The floor was laid. L-A-I-D. Laid. Laid is the past tense of L-A-Y. Lay. That is, you put something on something. That is, you lay the tablecloth, you lay the bed sheet on the bed. That is called laying. The floor was laid with a newspaper. That is, the newspaper was laid all over the floor. The floor was covered with the newspaper. He lied many times. L-I-E-D. Lied means to tell lies. This is the past tense of the word L-I-E. Lie. On to the second bit. Take the appropriate meaning of the underlined word in each sentence below. Kalam's father possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. What does the word generosity mean? Yes, generosity means kindness. A sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. What does the word erupted mean? Yes, it means appeared suddenly. A family arranged boats for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site situated in the middle of the pond. What does the word site mean? Yes, it means a place. On to the fourth one. My teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. What does the word stomach mean here? Yes, it means to tolerate. On to the fifth one. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. Here the word downcast means sad. On to the sixth question. Shastri bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school. What does the word bluntly mean? Yes, it means plainly. The small society of Rameswaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. The word rigid here means very strict. On to the eighth one. Sivasubramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife. The word perturbed means disturbed, distracted. On to the ninth one. India's freedom was imminent. Imminent means certain. Certain means sure. That is clearly visible. We call it as imminent. On to the grammar part. Here is a list of linkers. Some of them can be used synonymously. Synonymously means with the same meaning. Refer to a dictionary and group them in the following table according to the function they perform in a sentence or discourse. So here the functions mentioned here are indicating addition, contrast, result, indicating sequence in time, indicating a parallel or similarity, or ordering points. That is, indicating addition means one thing is there and we are adding to that another incident or another thing. That is called indicating addition. In that case, which linker would we use? That's what we have to write. Contrast means opposite. The opposite one happening is called contrast. In such case, which linkers would you use? The next one is result. Result means consequence. Because of something, something has happened. The result of it. That is what it means. Indicating sequence means order of time, one after the other. So, to indicate the order which happened after what, which words would we use? Indicating a parallel. Parallel means at the same time something else is happening. That time what we would use? Which words would we use? Ordering points. Ordering points means one by one we are putting them in an order. At that time which words would we use? Which linkers would we use? Here are the answers. Indicating addition, besides, furthermore, moreover. Contrast, on the other hand, on the contrary, yet, still, nevertheless, however. Result, as a result, thus, therefore, hence, so, consequently. Indicating sequence in time, later, suddenly, at the same time, meanwhile, subsequently. Indicating a parallel, equally, in the same way, likewise, similarly. Ordering points, firstly, secondly, thirdly, to sum up. On to the next bit. Fill in the blanks with appropriate choices from the brackets. I don't want to go to a restaurant. Besides, we can't afford it. On to the second one. A career in IT field is lucrative. At the same time, it is stressful and it can even be harmful to one's health. On to the third one. I understand your problems. However, I can't help you. This is a contrast. Transportation has developed a lot in India. Likewise, the trade too has improved. This is a parallel. Some of the students scored low ranks in the exams. Consequently, the teacher arranged a series of remedial classes. This is a result. On to the part C. Complete the following paragraph by choosing the appropriate linking words. Linking words help us in many ways in writing. For example, they help us in presenting our ideas in a meaningful way. Secondly, they help us to introduce and develop the main idea of the paragraph. Thirdly, they help us to illustrate and add supporting details. Next, they help us in moving from one idea to another by binding one sentence with another. Finally, they help us to understand the ideas presented in the paragraph. However, using too many linking words ruins the structure and coherence of the paragraph. On to the section D. Join the following sentences using the linkers given in the brackets. There were freezing temperatures. They trekked for hours. We have to join these two sentences using in spite of. In spite of freezing temperatures, they trekked for hours. On to the second one. It's an interesting city. We are going to visit it again. Now we have to join these two sentences using such and that. Here we go. It's such an interesting city that we are going to visit it again. On to the third one. We booked a holiday. We had very little money. Now we ought to combine these two sentences using although. Although we had very little money, we booked a holiday. On to the fourth one. The tour guide was informative. We did not need to read our guidebook. Here we ought to combine these two sentences using so that. The tour guide was so informative that we did not need to read our guidebook. On to the fifth one. He didn't like water. He booked a cruise. In spite of the fact that, we have to combine these two sentences using in spite of the fact that. We have to use this linker and we have to combine these two sentences. In spite of the fact that he didn't like water, he booked a cruise. On to the sixth one. Preachers preach many good things. Many of them do not practice what they preach. Here we ought to combine these two sentences using the linker though or even though. Here we go. Even though preachers preach many good things, many of them do not practice what they preach. On to the seventh one. Jainul Abidin had no formal education and no wealth. Here we ought to combine them using neither nor. Jainul Abidin had neither formal education nor wealth. On to the eighth one. The continental dimensions of the country account for the variations and diversities. There are several religious sects and beliefs. Now we ought to combine using the word besides. That is, the continental dimensions of the country account for the variations and diversities. Besides, there are several religious sects and beliefs. On to the second bit, passive voice without agent. Without agent means without the one who is doing the task. That's called the agent. Here I was born. Emergency was declared. I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. Here, who did it? We do not know. Here it is not mentioned. Of course, we know from the text, but here, according to the sentence, we do not get the information about the doer. That's what we say, passive voice without the agent. Let's see on which all context the agent is skipped. The agents are not mentioned in the following situations. When the agent is obvious means it's natural that that person would only do it. When the agent is not known, when we do not know who did it. When it is not desirable to reveal the identity of the agent, when it is not good enough, when it is not so pleasant to tell about the person who did it, to give the information who had done it, in those cases we skip the person, we skip the agent. Now the exercise is, pick out from the text some more passive constructions without agents and give reasons why the agent is not mentioned. On to the first one. All necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicine or clothes. Here the provider. Who provided? Yes, it is Kalam's father. Here the agent is obvious. It's obvious that the father provides the needs of the children. Here the agent is obvious, that is, the father provided all the basic necessities for his children. On to the second one. I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. Here, who did it? Yes, the new science teacher. Here, the agent is unimportant. That is, the action is more important than the doer. Who did it is not so important. What was done was more important. So, the agent has been skipped here. Every child is born. Here, the agent is obvious. That is, the mother bears the child. On to the fourth one. India was forced to join the Allied forces. Here the agent is unimportant. The action is important. Yeah, the action, what was done, is more important than the person who did it. So here the agent is not given. On to the fifth one. A state of emergency was declared. Here the reason why the agent is skipped or not given is, it is not desirable to reveal the identity of the agent, as the action is more important than the doer. On to the third bit, that is editing. Edit the following paragraph. It has some errors in the areas like punctuation, spelling, tense, prepositions, articles. He told me as if thinking aloud, Abdul, I know you have to go away to grow. Did the seagull not fly toward the sun alone, without a nest? He quotes Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Here, the first one, he, H should be capital because it is in the beginning of the sentence. Abdul, A should be capital because it is a proper noun, and I must always be capital. And here, the word did should be replaced with does. And the word toward should be replaced with across. And the sun, S-O-N, sun, should be replaced with S-U-N, sun. And here the question mark should be added. And the H here should be made into capital. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children, here we have to open quotations because it is a dialogue over there, and the Y should be made capital. Your children are not your children, full stop, T capital. They are the sons. The word the should be added. The article the should be added. They are the sons and daughters of lives. Here L should be made a capital and an apostrophe should be put there. A life's longing for itself. The word to should be replaced with for. They, here we ought to put a full stop and make the T into capital. They come through you, not to you. Here to should be replaced with through you but not from you, full stop. Then capital Y. You may give them your. Here there is a blank out there. We have to fill it with your love but not your thoughts. For there we have to put a comma beside thoughts. For they have their own thoughts. T-H-E-I-R. There, these are homophones. T-H-E-I-R. Their own thoughts. On to part B, a plea for India. The first question. What do fights put us in? Fights put us in a difficult situation. They fill us with hatred, create enmity, cause communal intolerance, and bring divisions in our country. On to the second question. Why does the poet use the expressions proud to be a strong nation and hang heads in shame at the same time? Why both these contrasting expressions at the same time? The poet uses both the expressions at the same time because our country is known for being united despite the various diversities existent. But Sometimes there are communal rights and disputes which make us ashamed of ourselves. As both the situations are existent in our country, he mentions both the expressions. On to the third one, who are cheats, who are being cheated. The people who create communal violence are the cheats, and the innocent people who are carried away by the false promises and diplomatic speeches are being cheated. On to the fourth one, what are the tasks to be finished according to the poet? According to the poet, we have to concentrate on the tasks which would help our country develop economically, technically, industrially, and intellectually, utilizing the various natural resources available in our country. On to the fifth one, what is the central idea of the poem? The central idea of the poem is to remain united as a nation and to stand strong as a secular country with love and peace. On to part C, unity in diversity in India. The first one, what do you understand by the expression unity in diversity? The expression unity in diversity means the bond of unity that exists among the Indians, though they follow various cultures, traditions, and speak different languages. On to the second one, which aspect is Smith commenting on? Smith is commenting on the main features which differentiate India from the other regions of the world, wherein the feeling of unity, which is common for every Indian in terms of human, social, and intellectual development, is quite a distinguished feature. On to the third one, pick out the factors that contribute to unity in diversity. The discovery of one in many, the individual in aggregate, the simple in composite, the superior interpretation, synthesis of power and mind that can give rise to the vision of the whole are the factors that contribute to unity in diversity in India. The rich Indian culture, the heritage, customs, traditions, art and literature contribute to the unity of the nation. On to the fourth one, why did the writer use the statement, it is a mere collection of separate people? Give reasons. The writer uses the statement, it is a mere collection of separate people, to tell that the people of different cultures, traditions, languages, and races come into a synthesis into one unit as Indians and remain united as Indians for the whole world to watch. On to the fifth one. Hindi is now understood and recognized as a national language of India. Do you agree or disagree with the author? Give reasons. Yes, Hindi is considered as the lingua franca of India. I agree with the author. As Hindi is spoken and understood by the majority of the population of India, it is recognized as the national language of India. On to the vocabulary. Read the following words or phrases and find the words or phrases from the text which convey the same meaning. The first one, myriad. Myriad means many, veritable, numerous, several, manifold. Synthesis. Synthesis means assimilate, combine, aggregate, unique bonds. Diversity. Diversity means difference, varied, separate, contrast. Dialects. Dialects means local languages. Saints. Saints here means sages, seers, yogis, maharishis, spiritual leaders. On to the next bit. Read the phrases and find the suitable words equivalent to them from the text. A part of a country, that's a region. Try to do, desire. Develop quickly, flourish. Behave in a particular way, emulate. A very sad event, tragedy. I do believe this session was useful to you all in comprehending the passages and to get to know about the concepts in the grammar and vocabulary part. I would really be very happy if you click the like button and leave a comment in the comment section. Please do subscribe, share with many more friends of yours. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you once again.